and the owners in baseball are going to run their businesses the way that they have been running it the last 3 years, and basically watching their pennies. It doesn't matter which team you're talking about, and spending money wisely. You're going to have what we have again this year, and that is a group of free agents that haven't signed yet.
And if people haven't seen it yet, Jacob deGrom's agent has said, his new agent that's no longer Brodie Van Wagenen but works for the same company, CAA, that Brodie Van Wagenen worked for, said that we want an extension before opening day. There will be no talks after opening day. And if we don't get it, we will be putting restrictions on Jacob so he doesn't go over innings limits or whatever, because he needs to protect himself, because essentially he's working on a one-year deal.
So here you go. Now we start getting into the real into the weeds in this whole thing. They're gonna want an innings limit. He wants a new contract. The Mets don't have to give him one if they don't want to. Remember, they're paying him $10 million more this year than they did last year because of arbitration. Think of that.
Yeah.
For a second. So
I know that's a number that nobody talks about. Even me, who wants to slam the Mets payroll, we don't talk about that extra $10 million that Jacob deGrom got in arbitration, which is real money that they have to pay Jacob deGrom. It's not like arbitration money is something that does count as well. Yeah, it's not a contract extension yet, but it's a significant raise for Jacob deGrom, who was probably the best value in all of baseball last year, if you think about it.
And if you're the Mets and he's going to be 31, why would you? What kind of contract do you think he wants? What does he want? Like a 6-year contract?
Well,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Joel Sherman, he outlined you don't like Joel Sherman?
No, I do like Joel, but I'm just saying, if I'm the Mets, I don't have to do anything.
5 years, 155 million,
and that's counting this year. That's
yes.
counting this year. So a 4-year extension, basically.
Right. Yeah.
That I would say is a reasonable number and a reasonable amount of years and a reasonable risk on both sides.
Right.
The risk being that he is older, and if he doesn't get the contract, they're going to want restrictions. I don't know how Jacob deGrom, if he doesn't get his contract, can go walking into the Mets, who are paying him $17 million this year, and say, I need to be pitching with restrictions. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, so how would it play out? So there's a couple of ways. One, Jacob deGrom in the middle of a game could say, I think 6 innings is good for me, even though my pitch count's at about 70. I think I'm feeling like that's enough. And he won't do that, right?
I can't see the athlete.
But maybe there's I'm going to skip a start. I've decided, I'm just letting you know now that I'll pitch today, but my next start I'm skipping.
I can't.
Can he do that?
I can't see him doing that. I just can't. I mean, I don't know what his new agent is talking about, but his old agent obviously knows what the arguments are from the other side, and maybe that's why you're Jeff Wilpon, you're smart, and you hire your best player's agent to go in there and run your team, because you now know on the other side what you're dealing with. So I don't know. The whole thing about Jacob deGrom and his agent basically saying, we want restrictions, that is cause for concern, because that to me, unfortunately, because of his age and because of his late blooming, is working against him now.
Well, you got to follow through on that, right? So if this doesn't happen, that can't be an empty threat, because Brodie Van Wagenen's probably thinking to himself, let's call their bluff. I know this guy. It's totally full of crap. Let's call their bluff. What's he going to do? Not pitch? He's going to pitch. He likes to pitch. I know Jake. He's going to pitch. So he's probably thinking that. And the other side has to say, if we don't go through with this plan of putting restrictions on you, then we really have no leverage, and we could screw ourselves in a big way, and you're never going to get that contract extension. So hopefully these two sides, it doesn't get there. We know the Mets have the money to be able to give him the extension. Is it the smartest business move out there for the team?
It's not. They don't have to do anything until next year. They don't have to. They could go through this year, leave everything the way it is, and the fact that Jake and his agent put some sort of limit on it in terms of when they want to stop negotiating. And trying to, exert some sort of pressure on the Mets is ridiculous.
Well, Brodie's full of positivity, right? He wants to go into spring training with everybody in a positive mind frame. And if this thing is hanging over the team, that's not good for what he's trying to build with the Cy Young Award winner, the team's best player, in a contract dispute, especially when he used to be his agent. So I think just for the sole purpose of not having that thing be a thing during the season, he might want to give him a contract extension. I don't know. This is one of the first things that we said we wanted to see Brody Van Wagenen do.
And he's not going to do it.
I get it from the club side, the franchise's side, why it's not the smartest monetary decision. But this is a guy who's earned it, too. Part of you as the former player has to say the system has essentially screwed him to this point. And if there's a guy in baseball who has earned $155 million guaranteed, it's Jacob deGrom, coming off one of the greatest seasons that we've seen a pitcher have, period, much less a Mets pitcher. So, I mean, this is a tricky one. It definitely is. And I'm hoping, because unless it restricts the Mets in a big way in years down the road, which it may, but I'm hoping this thing gets done just for everybody. I mean, I think it'll lift this cloud.
Well, whatever. I mean, he's making $17 million this year, and again, it's the. I don't think fans really want to deal with this. I don't think fans want to talk about contracts. They just want to talk about players on the field and what the hopes and dreams are for their respective teams. This is the business of baseball, and unfortunately, the way the system is set up, it actually, if the owners and general managers aren't spending the money that they had been in the past, which they have basically tightened down now the last 3 years, the way that the system is set up is screwing the players. Now, I do believe that the owners would want to get rid of this arbitration thing, because I think the arbitration is forcing teams to spend more money than they would like.
Yeah.
And I think for the players, it would probably be better if they got the free agency a little bit earlier, but I still don't think that is going to force teams to be spending, tons and tons of money on players. There's still a situation that has developed in baseball where the teams are just not spending the money.